In the air to right, and he did it again!
Welcome back to the Lefties 2 broadcast, and we have the top 22 outfielders in this game. Who is your list? Who's on the top of your list? Let me know, and enjoy the show. All right, so let's get right into it, right? Number 22. They just gave this dude a boost, but it's just not good enough. Joe is the 22nd ranked outfielder, not by my standards. Also, Miniclip gave him a boost because they said he's the least used outfielder in the game. And sadly, it's just because his offense is terrible. You can get a better thrower, you can get better fielders. The guy has average speed, above average speed in my opinion. He'll be good, and this is the only way he'll be good, and maybe he'll go up a couple notches, but in Clash League. Baseball Clash is trying to figure out a way to improve Clash League with the beta testing, we know. And having him in the ninth, this was it the 7th, 8th, 9th inning would allow this guy to be on your team. But again, and then you could pinch hit for him. That'd be it. But right now, just his offense is so low, and you can get someone who can throw, you can get someone who can field. So he's useless, in my opinion, at the moment. He loves to go to the casino. That's where he should stay. All right? And again, for anybody that I don't have at level 13, which I do have Joe, I'm going to show you their stats in a little breakaway as well. So Joe, number 22. Number 21. Again, we're going to look at the guy's stats as at level 13. Here's his stats at 13. 200 contact, 159 power, 219 speed, 168 throwing, and 159 fielding. But Alexander is not great, right? His contact is high, his speed is high, but his throwing and fielding at level 13 are not going to be fantastic at all. And just in my opinion, you could use someone a lot better. But I think, a British noble who started playing with Ryan. Okay. So, British. He might be actually a real player. We don't know. But he's number 21. There's a lot of people that are going to be better than him. His speed increases whenever he tags up. So that's a good thing if he's on second or third trying to get an extra base. But again, there's better alternatives, in my opinion, for this. So, Alexander is rated number 21, in my opinion. And again, next, number 20, Rama, okay. His offense and his overall offense, contact and power at max level. All right, so Rama is 165 contact, 162 power, 200 speed, 219 throwing, and 159 fielding. Again, a player that's not great, but he's kind of the alternate of Alexander, where he is a better defender as his arm increases when someone is tagging up. So it'd be kind of cool to see Alexander versus a Rama on a tag-up situation, power versus power. But right now, even at level 13, Rama is not great. And there's better alternatives with the throwing as with the upgrade and the player patch, they definitely helped out a lot of the better throwers in the game. But there's a lot of better offensive alternatives that actually have an arm as well, in my opinion. So Rama is number 20. All right. So rare, a common. Who are we going to next? And again, this is my opinion. And I have reasons for them. You guys should have your alternate ideas as well. Number 19. Johnson. Again, Johnson, solid contact, power's great, speed definitely low, average at throwing and fielding. So you got to figure out, why am I having him so low? It's because he's a distraction at the plate, right? Sometimes predicts the exact pitch location. Okay, so a red a red for a strike, a blue for a ball. It's like one of the first players in the game that you get, when they first came out with this game. So it's a primitive way of doing this, and by the time you see red or blue, your reaction is going to be a lot slower, in my opinion. And, the ball's coming too fast, especially at level 13. So having that distraction is not great, especially with the skill, when you can get better outfielders with pretty much similar stats, similar power, if you want, without having a batting eye distraction. So that's why Johnson's number 19. Speaking of distraction, number 18 is going to be Santiago. I could have put him worse. But he's a little bit better when it comes to speed and just overall. His fielding's not great either at max power at 162. And his contact pretty high, right there at 203. Power 181. Speed 178. So again, it's really the distraction of having all that robotic kind of nanotech. It's like the least baseball thing they can have, right? Just being a robot, right? Terminator up at the plate. So in my opinion, not really a solid option there. That's why he's number 17. Number 18. Now to number 17. Number 17. This guy could actually move up. He could move up, but right now, Clemens, he is number 17, right? And again, the reason why his power is so low, but his speed, pretty solid. That throwing arm, he used to be even worse because his arm was 219, but he would still hit the cutoff man. Now putting Clemens in your outfield is pretty decent. You could have him, 175 contact is, he's good enough. Speed, 184, good enough. But that arm has now come back into play. So that ability alone is going to put him at number 17. Okay. Next is number 16. What do we have for 16? None other than Wang. Wang here is just probably the most boring outfielder out of all of them. The dude is just average at everything. Power, speed, throwing a little above average. But his contact fielding, and then his skill, he could be a lot lower, actually, if you really want to put it out there. Underthrow pitchers, power increases to 136. So, having a 220 versus the underthrow, it's underthrow. They got to call it submarine, guys. Come on. It's submarine pitchers. So you don't see them as enough to kind of like allow Wang to be great. Again, when you had Christine, and I think you can almost put Marie there, that was when he's one of the first outfielders you kind of get when you're first playing this game, below 3,000 trophies. So there's less pitchers. So you would see Christine a lot more, and that would help. But Wang, he could be lower, but I just kind of like the fact that he's just an average dude. So that's where he's at. Wang, number 16. Number 15 on the list, Russell. Again, his speed, 219, contact not great, but when runners are in scoring position, it goes to 289 to go along, 189 to go with this about average power. Again, fielding, throwing, not great, but that speed, you put him at like 5, 6 in your lineup, that's going to be pretty big. And again, 15 is probably too high maybe, but I think he's right there in the middle. They did give him an option to have a little bit more contact, so that's going to come through more with runners in scoring position to give you a chance with that speed as well. Because the game is allowing more for speed with the outfielders back. So that's why Russell is number 15. Number 14. Phoenix. They gave her a boost on the base pass. So she's kind of like the common Fox, but, with the outfield version of it. Contact power really low. Throwing, again, they increased the ability to have a great thrower, speed, and then when she does get on the base pass, you can use that bunt to get her on. She's going to be a killer with that extra speed of 233. So she's going to be a killer on the base pass. So not a bad option. That's why she's number 14. You guys can see speed is becoming a lot more of a factor as well as the arm. Now we're going to go away from that and bring in Rosa, right? Going to offense. I like offense. I'm kind of biased towards it. Rosa is going to be a contact at 13 is 200, 203 power. Her speed, not great, 168. Throwing, it's not so bad at a max level, 175. And her fielding at 159. So she's probably better suited for you if you're going to use her in the right field. I don't really like her skill, the super spin hit. I don't even face that much. It doesn't come, either I get Rosa out or I hit a home run. But again, when I'm pitching against her, I don't see that come into play, that option with the spin. So Rosa, again, probably too high. I don't know. But she's 13. All right. Hammer is your number 12. Now, after playing with Hammer at my rookie account, I kind of like it, but we'll show you his level 13 stats. All right, so Hammer is 203 contact, 212 power, 187 speed, 159 fielding, and 159 throwing. And his skill is allowing pitches to go by. And again, you don't have to press any button for that, obviously. And you can see I'm hitting pretty well with him when I do use him. But to wait for that first pitch, I'm a first pitch fastball hitter. If you throw a first pitch strike, I'm going to try to swing at it. So having to kind of think about waiting for a pitch, waiting for that right pitch, is a good thing if you can wait for that one pitch, that one spot that you want. But again, when it comes to me facing him, it's not really a big factor. Because again, people are going to wait for that strike. So, but his power, contact, and all of his stats at his level, he's at number 12 for a good reason, right? Good, solid power hitter. Can put him at right field as well. That's where I'd have him because his throwing and fielding aren't great. So there he is. Number 11. Chris. Chris is the number 11th outfielder. Again, you'll see his 13 stats. We'll show him right now. All right, so Chris at 190 contact, 175 power, 200 speed, 178 throwing, and 162 fielding. He's a player that is just an all-around overall player, contact speed kind of guy, but he helps his other teammates. So if you have outfielders with speed out there, they're going to be even faster, which is going to be great, right? So any player that can boost your other team deserves to be pretty good, but he's number 11, didn't quite make the top 10. But again, he boosts two other players, so that's a good thing there. Help you out with those gappers. Because again, with the game pushing the outfielders back, hitting those gappers quicker, and getting to those pop-ups that are in front a lot faster, going to help you out quite a bit. All right, now we're in the top 10. Number 10, Morgan. Morgan. She is, again, solid contact, solid speed. Again, I would put her in right field if I was going to put her anywhere. But if you put her, again, she is great in a baseball clash league. Put her on your bench. Bring her in the later innings. Going to be great to have her there. And her power is just going to go up the further you go. So having her as a last resort batter in clash league is great. Even if having her in, if you're going to play a game and you see yourself going 11 and 12 innings quite a bit, having her as a leadoff batter, and then she comes up in that 11th or 12th inning, having that power too. Overall solid. Again, put her in right field. She's number 10. Now this guy, if you would have had him in my list 2 weeks ago, if I would have done this 2 weeks ago, he'd be probably 22. But Ryan, again, Ryan has just boosted up. He's increased, again, with the game increasing the ability of arms in the outfield. This is going to be great because, again, all these other outfielders with weak arms, they're hitting cutoffs, which are going to allow the speedier runners to score or even get to the next base a lot easier. Ryan surpasses that. So having Ryan in your outfield, his fielding is 184, right? That's pretty above average. It's above average fielding. That throwing, again, is elite. Speed above average. His power and contact, not great. So contact average, power below average. So he's your 8th batter probably in your lineup. But he's going to save you runs, and he's going to allow runners to, he's going to throw out runners, even the fast ones, because he's not hitting that cutoff, which is so annoying nowadays, I believe. So he's number 9. Good for him. This guy has probably dropped quite a bit. Number 8 is Ruth. Ruth is still a solid option, right? Contact 175, so about average. His power is still 190. Speed, 209. Throwing, low. Fielding, low. You can put him in center field. He's going to hit a cutoff man now. Fielding's pretty average. But his whole point of why you have him in is he's jumping the catcher. Until Miniclip fixes it, his ability to be in there's other options that are power and speed or power and something else. So he's number 8. Now, this little contradiction of myself, little ray of sunshine here. Contact is 209 maxed. Her power, 181. Speed, 181. Throwing, 175. Fielding, she's a bad fielder, so probably you're putting her in, you can put her in center or right field. And again, her slowing the pitches down, you would think is a contradiction to me. But after you get used to it, I think, being able to kind of really see the strike zone is going to be great, in my opinion, right? So she's number 7 on the list. Number 6, go get her. Number 6, Christine. She's my replacement for Ruth. Again, Ruth, if we compare her directly to Ruth, you can see that video. But her contact's a little bit lower. Power, higher. Speed, a little bit lower. But throwing and fielding are both around average for me. So, and again, when she's on second and third base, her speed increases by 30. Put her at 217. So she's scoring when she's in scoring position at second base for sure. Even those little bloopers, you can kind of send her. So that's why she is number 6. All right. So the new Ruth, as we call him, Neville. Neville's not as good at offense in general. His contact's better than Ruth, but that speed is just unstoppable. Throwing and fielding are going to be a problem. You can put him in right field if you want to. Center field or right field is what I recommend because that throwing arm is not throwing out anybody. Going to drop some balls. But on offense, get this guy on base, that little activated slide is going to be big time. And I mean big time. Right? Next, one of my favorite outfielders. Number 4, Michael. Michael, contact power, speed above average. Again, throwing and fielding, not great, right? But when you're facing a right-handed pitcher, all the right-handed pitchers, the dude is just an unstoppable machine and probably shouldn't even be a common in my opinion. But if you're a rookie player, getting Michael at the highest level possible after you get a pitcher at the high level is my recommendation, right? So definitely Michael deserves to be in the number 4 spot. Number 3, Annie. Again, one of the hardest players to get out in my opinion. She is tough. She's so good that they had to nerf her in the outfield with that speed. But when it comes to being on base and being a leadoff hitter, her contact at 215 is just unstoppable. With that speed, 219, again, on the base paths, hitting runs. She's going to do it. Again, throwing and fielding, not great. So a right fielder, center fielder option is where she's going to be. Again, having Chris paired up with her, solid, adding that extra speed. So the idea that she can cut those balls off in the gap is key, but her offense is fantastic in my opinion. All right, top 2. What you gonna do when your name is Koo? Koo is the top 2. I don't know. He's just above average in everything except fielding. Right? He's gonna drop some, even though he does dive. But just that contact power speed combination, right? Even with his throwing, which means at 181, he's not as likely to hit the cutoff when you're throwing to second base, maybe third or maybe home. But again, he's just an overall solid player. He's kind of like Wang, but better. He's a better version of Wang, with the fielding being a lot less. All right, so his offense is going to bring it up. You could bat him 6th, 7th. That's probably where I have him in my lineup. All right, so now that brings to number 1. As you can see, he stands on the throne alone. Right? And again, as you guys, this could be controversial. I know. It's okay. But he is a power hitter, contact hitter. His speed is average. Fielding is above average. Throwing is a little low, so he's definitely hitting a cutoff. You put him in right field. But this guy's an all-around hitter. And again, the idea of hitting a bad ball. So if you swing at a bad pitch or just a good pitch that's a ball, Good chance he's going to get it. And with the game and how it's evolved, the fact of the matter is when the outfield is further back and he hits it that far, it's going to be a home run or off the wall. But those little bloopers are going to come into effect, and he's going to get on that way too with the little bloopers. So that's why King, for me, is my top outfielder out of the 22 outfielders in this game. So those are the outfielders. Who do you think, who is the best outfielder for you? Let me know. Comments, right? Share. Let me know how it is. And again, as always, thank you for watching another Lefties 2 broadcast. See you next time.